Tim Drake Robin issue 9.
Yeah. It's still Fitzmartin writing and Sis Mejka on art. Probably butchered the pronunciation, but the point is, not Rosmo. The art's better, but I'm not the biggest fan. It's still trying to fit in with the style of Rosmo, not in being rounded, odd shapes, but just tonally, trying to match that feeling. This issue is better than the last one. Less confusing, a bit more straightforward, but it's not great. There is some stuff I like. Early on, we got this guy holding Kate captive. He's got hand on her throat, holding her, saying that she's murdered all these kids or something or other. And it's a little bit of a Tim having detective mode. It's like, it has a close-ups. He'll do a circle around it and pull out and do a close-up image on things like, okay, like her eyes, the gloves, the sweat on his forehead, and things like that. All these little details of Tim being a detective. I like those elements because that's the side of Tim that I like. Then the story just isn't that interesting. They're trying to find this out. Kate's obviously she's got her memory still. Doesn't know what happened. So they go to see Bernard because this is to do with the stuff that was in wherever that original story was, the urban legends. This is playing back to that. So I felt a little bit lost in that regard, having not read those. Definitely felt like I'm missing some context. Bernard's just in his apartment with he's got a bag for boxing. He's beating it up. He hears them come in, so he grabs a baseball bat. And he's visiting this as Robin and Batwoman, and he doesn't know that Bernard has figured out that he is Robin. So it's this weird thing, the whole scene of him kind of being like, oh, I wish I was here as Tim. I wish I was comforting him and not just dragging these awful memories out of him as Robin instead. It led to some awkward dialogue where Bernard says, oh, the only thing came out of that time was, there was only one good thing that came out of that time. My boyfriend, Tim Drake. Like, why are you sitting out, spelling out his whole name like that to Robin? It just felt so weird. Like, why would you include his name? Robin doesn't know your boyfriend, even if he does. If he does know he is your boyfriend, why do you need to say it like that? It was so weird.
Correction, it's just Drake, I think you'll find.
Oh, please don't remind me. Tim's not had it good lately. Tim's not had it good in a while.
He's the lost in the shuffle generation.
Yeah, it sucks because he's so good.
The other Robins all have a purpose. Tim's kind of floating about.
Yeah, I hope they find something for him soon that's better than this book, because I'm just not enjoying it. Mainly because it's not good, but
I'm sure he'll break out that UPS color scheme uniform any day now.
I can't make this book much worse if he did. Yeah. So Batman gets a bit aggressive and starts wanting to interrogate, get the answers that she needs. Tim's like, no, we are not doing that. He's innocent. Okay, maybe he knows more than he lets on, but we're not getting out of him by beating him up. So she storms off to go find her own answers. Tim heads back to his boat. Finally, 9 issues in, we're addressing the fact that he lives on a small boat in the docks that with no buildings around for him to hide on as Robin to enter. And yes, someone does see him enter as Robin. And one of the locals who also lives on a boat nearby, who knows that's Tim's boat and only Tim lives on that boat. So they see, Robin going through the roof, and they go and knock on the door being like, I thought I heard something on your boat. Did you hear anything, Tim? And he's gotten his suit off and is in the middle of getting changed again. For some reason, he opens the door. It's so weird. He opens his door in his boxers, and then when he opens it and there's someone there staring at him, he tries to cover up and acts like, oh, you caught me unaware. I'm like, you opened the door. You answered it. Like, shout 1 minute and go and get some. You know, he grabs a towel to wrap around himself. I'm like, why don't you just shout 1 minute before you open the door? Like, it was weird. Anyway, and the guy's like, he's like, oh, I heard something in your boat. And Tim's like, oh, I got a friend over. And the person sees the Robin outfit, and they're like, oh, no, oh. He goes, does Bernard know about you and Robin? He's like, oh, no, it's not a thing. Don't worry. But, yeah, so Robin's like, okay, well, we'll go find answers. And he can't find Kate anywhere. He's like, I looked at Renee's, looked at the bar. So I'm going to go to her home. She's not there, but other people are. Like, there's like a thing hiding like under the bed. It's like a guy. I don't even know how to describe it. He's dressed like he's got like a mask on. He's got like all these extra eyes drawn on. It's trying to evoke an image of the guy with all the eyes from the Arkham mini. I'm completely blanking on the name, but you guys know.
Man?
Yeah, like with the eyes all over. It looks kind of like him. Is what he's trying to evoke. But there's like a few of them there, and like they're all just trying to, and they try to get him, and they grab him, they stop him from leaving, and they're swarming all over him, and that's the end of the issue. To be continued. Presumably that they were here for Kate because it's her home, not Tim. That's just coincidence. But yeah, it's not great. Pacing on this book is kind of weird. So it has this just awkward, like, okay, we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do this. There's no flow to it. It feels like a series of just disconnected sequences. There's no, there is no connective tissue to these scenes. It doesn't feel like it's just like, I guess it's time to do that now. Voices are better in this issue, I would say. It doesn't really address all the stuff from last issue. But I mean, it does, but it waves it away. Like last issue ended with Sparrow seemingly dead or dying, and Detective Williams at the scene just being like, shouting for Robin to, hey, come help, this kid's dying. And this issue just kind of has Tim going like, I'm sure Detective Williams has got it under control. I'm sure it'll be fine. It just says, oh, as for Sparrow, Detective Williams is on the scene. He's got the needs of the many handled. And then,
what about the needs of the few?
Oh, well, he's got that handled. He's worrying about that.
That was a Star Trek joke, Matt. I know you
That's
don't
actually the
follow.
next panel, though. It just says, which means I need to handle the needs of the few. Is the very next caption box.
Okay, see, that was a Star Trek reference then.
Yeah, right. That's from the second one, right? Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, see, I knew Matt was a Star Trek nerd.
Oh, how dare you, sir?
But the thing is, it never actually goes back to Detective Williams. It never addresses if Sparrow's even alive. Like it just ignores it. It just pretends none of it's happened. Like, it's so weird. Just like, yeah, I'm sure Detective Williams has got it under control. And then doesn't actually reference it again. Like, that was the big cliffhanger of the last issue. That and that woman being grabbed by this guy. It was like, it's so weird that it just ignores it all. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, still not a good book. Really sucks. Really does. Even post Rosmo, it's not a good book. Really hurts. It's a solid 4 out of 10.